All right, so next up we can go price, availability, and packaging and final rating. So first up is price. Well, I guess fifth up is price. $20, about I think 65, 75, somewhere around there. You're about 50 bucks, 10 bucks, 10 bucks, 30 bucks. We're going retail prices, not secondhand market. So automatically, we can automatically say that Funko and Youtooz, Funko and Playmates share the tie in terms of price because they're both at around 10 bucks. So that's basically the price. Now, availability. He's discontinued, unfortunately, but when he was available, he was readily available at pretty much every single retailer and most online stores that sell collectibles. Pretty much all NECA products. He is kind of discontinued. I think he's still in stock some places, but ever since they started bringing out the GXK version of this guy, he's kind of been like obsolete, so there wasn't never really a reason to bring him back. So he's still like on the market. He's been getting a bit reissued and actually kind of got it's a separate figure technically, but it's the exact same thing, just translucent with a new translucent version of this guy. So make of that as you will, but he's still readily available. He's a much more newer figure anyway. Him, this specific version, I think is done for the time being. Because they also brought in the GXK version, which is not too different from this version, just features some new parts and some non-translucent fins. That and a blue, different sculpted beam, but it literally looks the exact same. Same articulation, minus the feet, and pretty much does the exact same thing. Even has the battle damage, the exact same battle damage. Funko has pretty much mass produced this thing, and I don't know if they're still producing this particular one, but they're still fairly common and still fairly cheap to find. But when they were produced, pretty much all massive retailers, much like this guy. These two you could really only find in collectible stores, although I have heard that they did sell these at Target, so make that as what you will again. And Youtooz, this was a BAM exclusive, Books a Million, so only exclusive to them in stores, but on the Youtooz website for I think 4 days or something before it sold out. Or was it 2 days? I don't know, it's 2 to 4 days, but then it sold out. Ow! I have a wound on my hand, so I can't really snap. Just completely forgot about that. But as for availability, I'm gonna have to say that the most common one of all of them would probably be I gotta stop saying Youtooz. It was the Playmates because that's specifically what it was designed to be. Availability first, the frontliner, the cheap, to mass produce these at will. Now, we can talk about packaging. I'm not gonna be bringing any boxes out because all of them are in storage right now, and even though I'm looking at one right now, that being this guy's, I don't have his box. And your box, it's somewhere in here. But basically, he comes in the 5-panel box, decent artwork from the film, and then you can actually open it up and see what it's inside, and then it kind of closes back up, and it looks good. He has an orange box style guide, not too much from the movie, but still looks rather nice and has a nice little display, and even pairs up with the Kong box pretty well. HIYA Toys box, it's not the best box. It has some decent artwork on it, but they don't even use the beam on the artwork, which I find a little weird. So it's like closed box, big. You can actually just go to my box showcase playlist and see all of them for yourself. Playmates, open box. If you're familiar with the Bandai boxes, you know what I'm talking about. Open box, they're all sealed up, but it's all good. Funko and Youtooz, similar boxes, tiny little 4-inch tall boxes, but Youtooz did something a bit different than Funko's, as they had a sleeve and they also had a protector that came with it. So maybe that was an extra $30 where the $38 came from. So that basically being said, who has the best box? I'm gonna have to go ahead with the NECA on this one because even though the NECA is particularly the box on the NECA was just overall the best. presentation wise, because you could either have it open, the little 5-panel open, or you could have it shut. And that would actually give you like an extra way to even display the box. So there you go, that's that. But with that being said, who overall wins? Well, let's overall tally up the scores. So as far as like sheer sculpt and paint, it was a tie between the NECA and the HIYA. So they get 1 point. Articulation went to the Monster Arts. Size at equilibrium, so everyone got a point. Because everyone's trying to do their own thing. Accessories had to go to the HIYA, just barely, but it still went to the HIYA. Price went to the Funko and the Youtooz. Stop saying Youtooz! Funko and Playmates. Availability went to the Playmates. And the packaging went to the NECA. So after retallying up the scores, we can bring it to this. In last place is the Youtooz, who won the tie point in size. It does a lot of things great, and it has its own unique style on its own, but it's just not enough to compete with the others. It has, again, good style, but the availability kind of hurts this thing. In second, well, more or less second place, we have a tie between the Funko and the Monster Arts. Yeah, not so likely there, huh? Yeah, so Funko won the point in the tie point of size and the price point, while the Monster Arts won the point in articulation and the size tie point. So that's basically where those two are at equilibrium with each other, which brings us to the final three: NECA, HIYA, and Playmates. NECA won the point in terms of sculpt and paint as a tie with HIYA, and the size at equilibrium, and won the point in packaging. So, 3 points. HIYA won the point in a tie point with sculpt and paint with NECA, and also had an equilibrium size, and won the point in accessories. And Playmates won the whole thing with size, well, tie point with size, and won the points in price and availability, a tie point with the Funko. So 3-3-3. These guys are technically equal, but really, there's really no debating about who wins. If you want my personal opinion, NECA wins. Like, I'm biased in that way, I know. But really, it's so interesting. I know I said I do build quality, but I kind of feel like that's a bit of a docked point because all of these things are made out of different materials, and at that point, that becomes a little unfair because it's not trying to pit, because it's basically pitting a hollow vinyl figure versus a solid vinyl figure. And even though the point difference, whatever. If you want my personal opinion, the best built is probably these two, with this guy at a close third. So that would only just exceed these two being the tie ones, this guy falling into second, and these two being in first. So at that point, it becomes NECA or HIYA. Personally, I prefer the NECA figure over the HIYA figure because of its superior paint job and my love for the NECA line as a whole. But really, your opinion is where it comes in. I'm not stopping you from buying any of these guys. Go onto eBay, Amazon, wherever secondhand market you can find any of these guys, because they're floating around there and they vary in price a lot. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Believe in Jesus, accept those orders every day. It's really awesome. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, everyone. God bless.